uncommon in the US up until, maybe 18 months ago, give or take. And just the sheer explosion of them that you've seen, maybe even, you've probably even noticed a dramatic uptick in the last like 2 to 6 months.
Despite all of the data being traveling around before it gets to its final destination, which is then our end users in their own countries. So it's important for people to really understand that you have to find the way to be most reasonably compliant with the most applicable laws for we do have some unique customers, which are government entities. It's a little bit of a different animal, so we try to segregate that business somewhat.
Mean anything universally. So they keep asking me, well, what is privacy by design? And in practice, what I have decided that I advise people when looking through all of them is to focus on data minimization. Because if you don't have the data complying with privacy by design.
Does that mean that if the privacy policy is found unconscionable, is the terms of use also found unconscionable? I want to make sure I understand that correctly.
The sort of exigent concerns about how much data you're storing at a given time. So they come into these firms, companies, whatever, with this mentality of we need to collect everything, we need to preserve everything. I can run regressions and everything, I can categorize everything, and it makes me happy. This dovetails with Julia's discussion about data minimization. There's all we're telling them to do is to store less, and then you've got these new entrants, these companies saying, I want to store everything.
The fines that I have been working, that different companies invite me to analyze and to implement controls, is not because the incident, it's because the company didn't react and didn't have the control. So that's why, for sure, there are a couple of times in which, or situations in which they need a fine. The company need a fine because they didn't have anything.
It's often more older legacy type systems that are more vulnerable, and often sometimes even people have kind of forgotten about it, or, oh yeah, we have this module over here or some other, program out there that's grabbing data that's, being written on code that's 20 years old and so forth. And that can be a weak point. And I mean, there's plenty of stories out there where you've allowed a vendor into your system and then that's
protecting things appropriately. And I think, Michael, you raised this as well, of just regular pen tests and regular tests regarding, possible holes in your systems of protecting data. And I guess the other thing is just having a regular list of all the third parties that have access to your data and access to your systems, and then making sure that those are shut off as quickly as possible once a third party, leaves your employ or whatever.